The 2026 Dropback ITL Symposium is Friday, February 27th at 8:30 a.m. sharp. Get up and get out of bed. We'll go about 2.5 hours. We'll be in room 205 at the Indiana Convention Center. Last year, Texas Tech GM James Blanchard was one of our panelists. He's been crazy enough to agree to return. He's here to talk about that today. James, welcome, buddy.
Man, how y'all doing, man? I appreciate y'all having me.
Well, glad to have you on. So we like to start off with every guest, James, with a very basic question. What's your origin story? How did you get here? A lot of people trying to get it, break in, maybe fill your shoes one of these days. What worked for you? How'd you get here, man?
Social media, man. I was man, a Twitter guy. Man, I was on Twitter and I'm DMing every coach that was crazy enough to follow me. And I'm sending them prospects, from all across the country, man. Hey, look at this guy. I think he's good enough to play for you. Look at this guy. I think he's good enough to play for you. And man, a couple guys like Morgan Scalley, Joey McGuire, Matt Rule, Zornell Fitch, man, they were crazy enough to listen to me. And Evan Cooper, can't forget Evan Cooper. Man, they were crazy enough to listen to me. And man, eventually Evan Cooper and Matt Rule hired me at Baylor. From there, I met Coach McGuire. And man, I just got an opportunity and took it and ran with it, man. I think I was the first wave of that social media boom, man, the power of social media, because I had no idea that something like that was even possible. I still think of it as a dream. But man, Twitter changed my life.
That's really interesting, man. And I think a lot of people have tried that path, but haven't had nearly the success you have. So
Keep
hats
chopping
off for you
wood.
for making
Tell
that
me keep
platform
chopping
work the way
wood,
that you
man. It's
have.
coming.
All right. So, James, one thing I noticed about you, man, obviously, again, we mentioned that you were at last year's symposium. I saw you in Mobile. We get to talk to you, but I know you were there. You make the rounds, man. It must mean you place a high value on meeting people face to face. Is that true? And if so, why?
Man, I do place a high value. Hold on, say that one more time. You place a high value on me.
Well,
You got broken up real quick.
it seems like you're a person who's obviously we all communicate via texts and DMs
Yep.
and over, virtually. But it seems like you've also put a premium on being there and meeting people and shaking their hands and getting in front of them. Is that accurate to say? And if so, why is that the case, man?
And I think just so, man, people can feel your energy and you can feel theirs. Man, it's one thing to send a text and, for you to see my Twitter profile, all this guy's DMing me. It's another thing to, man, hear somebody's voice, hear the passion and feel it, man, shake somebody's hand. Man, even simple primitive things. Look at their stature and, man, are they looking you in the eyes? Man, it's things like that, man. I think, man, in-person
Yeah.
communication and connections, man, are 5 times more effective than social media ones. Man, social media ones can change your life, and man, they can work wonders as well. But man, I'm gonna remember a person a lot more if I meet them in person, man. Shake their hands. I'm always
Mhm.
remember how they shook my hand and man, how that dialogue and that interaction took place in person.
Mhm. Well, you're a much younger man than I am, James, but you're old school in that regard. I certainly agree with you there. And that's one reason we have the symposium. All right. So you've had extensive experience on both the NFL and the college levels. What's the biggest thing you had to learn when you went from college to pro? And then what's the biggest lesson you learned when you went from being in the NFL to being a college GM?
Biggest lesson from college to pro. Um, man, just how elite man the football is at the pro level. Man, you're seeing great college players and you're thinking like, man, these guys can go play in the NFL. And then you go up there and you see guys who are college All-Americans, man, all world guys where they come from, and they're the first guys you're cutting. It's like, holy shit, it's different humans up here. Um,
Yeah.
man, that is just the organization, the structure of which the NFL is, man. It's $1 billion man boys club and man, they have it figured out for a reason, man, with everything, man, from structure, salary cap, calendar, playoffs, when to start the season, when to end the season. Nobody has it figured out better than them in the football world. So, man, just the structure and organization is organizational part of it. And then, man, going back to college, um, my office was right next door to our salary cap manager when I was with the Carolina Panthers. And it was 2 doors down from our general manager. I was looking back at it now, man. I was so blessed that both of them had an open door policy. Neither one of them would close doors and have a bunch of conversations, in secret society form or whatever. Man, both of them would be like, "Hey, you can come in and listen all you want. Just shut the hell up and sit down." So, man, I took every advantage of shutting the hell up and sitting down and just, listening and learning. And man, I had no idea college football would fast forward to this lifestyle and these negotiations. But man, in hindsight, oh my God, that was invaluable. That might have been more valuable than the actual man learning how to evaluate on the NFL level.
Mhm, mhm. Now, James, you are in the vanguard of college GMs. It's obviously a rather new post when it comes to the college level. How long did it take you to feel really comfortable as a GM at Texas Tech?
After we won the Big 12 championship this year. Because man, I thought I was really good at my job, and I think highly of myself. People around the country, for whatever reason, seem to think highly of me. But man, still, until you have that proof of concept, you don't really know. So man, we did something so, Christopher Columbus like pioneer like man this year with the transfer portal and the investment that we made in it, bringing in a bunch of man talented young men from all different walks of life and different various programs that man a lot of people said it couldn't be done. And I was the idiot standing on the balcony saying, "Hey, it can be done." And Joey McGuire was right there backing me. And man, it took the proof of concept because it was just a theory or whatever, man. Hey, Coach McGuire, I believe we do X, Y, and Z. We're gonna beat the hell out of people. We're gonna be one of the best teams in the country. We'll change the trajectory of Texas Tech football, man, for the next 20 years. And man,
Yeah,
until we accomplish that mission of winning the Big 12 championship in dominating fashion and making it to the college football playoffs, man, I had questions. I'm human. I would like to sit here and tell you that, oh man, I knew it from day one, and man, I wasn't worried at all. It was a many a nights, man. I didn't go to sleep because, man, I had that chip on my shoulder. I want to prove that I'm the best and prove that I was ahead of everybody else doing this.
sure, sure. Yeah, absolutely. All right. So you mentioned earlier that you had a recruiting service. What prompted that? Kind of how did that arise? And do you miss the feeling of being your own boss anymore, James?
Man, had a recruiting service, man, I used to just send, like I said, I used to send colleges guys all the time, man, just trying to help out kids. And man, Matt Rule and Evan Cooper was like, "Hey, you know, you need to start monetizing this. You need to start making money from this." And I'm like, "Oh no, I'm not charging any kids, man. I want to just help the kids out. I'm not gonna make any money off of it." He's like, "No, don't make money off the kids." He's like, "Start charging the schools." He's like, "They got millions and millions of dollars. Man, you can cut a piece of it too."
Yeah.
Um, so man, dug into it, figured out the background of how to do that. Started my own recruiting service, ended up being wildly successful. Had programs like Utah, TCU, Baylor, a couple of others, man, SFA, man, subscribing to it. And then Matt Rule was like, "Yeah, that's enough of that. You need to come work with me or whatever, man. You're too good at this. I don't need everybody knowing what all you got going on." But man, nah, man, it was fun. It was a great time in my life. I still remember, man, building my website in my living room. But man, I much rather, man, what I'm doing right now, man. Being my own boss is great, but building college football rosters is even better.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Well, I know a lot of people would agree with you. A lot of people are really envious of where you are. All right. So let's talk about player representation. Again, kind of a newer phenomenon when it comes to the landscape these days. What percentage of the NIL agents you deal with would you consider competent and capable, James? And do you feel that most players are getting legitimate counsel from their agents right now? And one other question: is it trending more positive or trending worse right now? Would you say?
Man, I think a lot of agents are comparable. Man, it's way more good agents than there are bad agents. We just hear way more about the boogeymans and the bad stories than we do about the positives, like anything else in society, right? But it's way more good than bad. Man, I do think a lot of them are good and man, good counsel. Um, it's man, it's here and there. Same situation, man, with the bad counsel or whatever, man. You got a couple rogue guys that are, man, just outright giving guys bad information. And then, man, I think college football is trending in a positive direction. There's never been more parity. God dang, Indiana just won a national championship. Like, man,
Yeah.
for the
Yeah.
longest, I didn't think anybody outside of Georgia, Alabama was ever going to win one of those things. Indiana just won one. And man, if you had to tell somebody to bet their life savings on who was going to win it this year, nobody would almost get it right. So, man, I think college football is trending in the positive direction. We just need to get a couple more guidelines and rules and regulations, man, to man, formalize it a little more. But man, I think college football is better than ever. And I bet you when those TV deals and all that, man, the numbers get released from those new deals coming out soon, I bet you that's going to reflect the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
James,
Hard to argue with that.
as you've continued to kind of take Texas Tech and again, kind of be on the front edge of, hey, let's attack the portal. Let's still do it with recruiting. You mentioned formalizing it to somewhat, which again is what the NFL, they have it down to a science. How much balance is that? Hey, we want to continue to press the envelope, be 1 or 2 steps ahead of everybody in the country with the way we're doing things, but at the same time, knowing what will be good for college football as a whole is having some of that, everybody on the same page. Let's get on the same rules and guidelines and everything. How do you balance that?
Take it day by day. Man, that's really the only way to balance it. Take it day by day. Hey, if we're playing in this sandbox, and this sandbox has these rules attached to it, man, we're gonna play by these rules, and man, we're gonna play it at the highest level, and we're gonna attack it at the highest level. If man, everybody else decides, hey, we're gonna move to this sandbox going forward, then of course we'll adjust and man, we'll play by those rules. But man, it's just day by day and just man, shoot, one step at a time. Right now, man, it's NIL revenue share. It's no hard cap. So cool. Well, man, we're gonna punch at the highest level on this side, but if everybody else puts their guns down, then Texas Tech will too.
Does that mean, are you planning a lot more short term? Hey, the next 3 months look like that, as opposed to, again, NFL, you're thinking, hey, 3 years down the road. We're always going to look at it with a 3-year point of view. How are you looking a little bit more short term and, hey, knowing we're going to have to reevaluate this plan as things change?
Yeah, it's 6 to 12 month increments. Hey, what does this look like 6 months from now? What does this look like 12 months from now? And we'll just get it going from there. Man, it's definitely not a 3-year window like the NFL. Man, my mind doesn't even wrap their way because, man, we could get
Yeah,
something in an email or breaking news from Pete Nakos or Matt Zenitz tomorrow saying, "Hey, the
yeah,
NCAA has decided this," and I mean, it just throws a loop into everything. So, man, it's
yeah.
6 to 12 month windows that we're looking at, and man, just trying to be as diligent and as cutting edge as we can, man, doing those windows.
Yeah, yeah, no
Mhm,
question.
mhm. All right, so let's get into a real football question here. You got 4 defensive linemen going to Indy next week, James. All 4 came via portal. Did you make building the team inside out a priority, or did it just kind of work out that way?
Nah, it was definitely a priority. Man, sitting up, man, shoot, watching the Super Bowl and man, watching the playoff run or watching the NFL season that year, man, the Philadelphia Eagles were just dominating teams. Man, with how they were beating the hell out of people up front, man. Their defensive line was just so deep and so talented. Some games they didn't even have to blitz. And man, that's really what it was for us. I remember talking to Coach McGuire and I'm like, man, the best team in football right now is the Philadelphia Eagles, and they have the best D line in football. So I'm like, man, well, we're gonna attack in this portal above anything else. We're gonna go build the best D line in college football. And man, for anybody that paid attention to us this year, I think that was very evident. A lot was made of it. All these guys spent this on the D line. They brought in this guy, they brought in that guy. We choked people out this year because of man how effective we
Yep.
were on the D line.
Mhm. It's hard to argue with, though, just overwhelming dominance seems like, week after week, and, so obviously that really came to fruition the way it looked the way it was drawn up on the chalkboard. All right, so James, obviously coming off a playoff run, number 1 portal class last year, talented team again next year. Let's look at the where we are today in this game. How much of that is due to having Cody Campbell leading the Matador Club for y'all? And is his impact overstated?
No, his impact is definitely not overstated. Man, everybody in the country, everybody in the world knows who the best players are. man, is do you have the financial resources, man, to allocate to these young men, man, to get them on campus? So man, that's what it was, man. Man, shoot, man, Cody Campbell, Dusty Womble, John Sellers, man, Tim Cope, all these man, great men, Texas Tech alumni, donors, man, they allocated the resources, and then man, our coaching staff, our scouting staff went and found, man, the premier players, the right guys. A lot of them who weren't household names, man, before they got here. Went and found them and put this team together, and man, it all worked out. It's no different than what Oregon's been doing for years, with the rumors of what the SEC has been doing under the table for years. Man, we were just, we believed in our process, and we were just a little more loud about it, man. We had a good idea of what was about to happen.
James, I mean, you hit on again, it's easy to identify good players, again, getting the right fit, the right culture, all that. But all these 4 players, they were good when they got to Tech, then when they got to campus, but they really ascended throughout this year. Talk about that developmental aspect. And again, like, come here, we picked the right players. We're also going to get the most out of you in every way. Talk about that, focus for what you guys do.
Yeah, man, it's just finding the right guys. Man, I like guys that are team captains. Skylar Gill Howard was a team captain at Northern Illinois, where he came from. Man, Lee Hunter. I like guys that go to media day at the former school, because that's, you might not be named the team captain, but they bring you to media day. They can trust you in front of a camera. They can trust you in public. You're not going to say stupid things. You got a level of maturity to you. That was Lee Hunter. Man, I like guys that graduate from college. All of those guys had graduated from college. David Bailey had graduated from Stanford in 3 years. I have no idea how he's human. That's crazy, right? Man, so like that's always a big thing as far as the culture piece. And then me, man, I like finding the best players on, man, average football teams or losing football teams, because it's something about that or whatever. You have to be wired a little different. Man, Lee Hunter, man, was on a 4-8 UCF team and made second team all conference. That says a lot about him, because man, whereas the team might be, record wise a loser, man, Lee Hunter, man, plays his balls off even whenever the scoreboard isn't indicative of a favorable outcome for him or whatever. That tells me how he's wired. Man, David Bailey, man, is going out there and having 7, 8 sacks in the season when Stanford is, respectfully playing for nothing. They're not even about to go to a bowl game. That tells me a lot about him. Man, Skylar Gill Howard is playing for, man, a middle of the road NIU football team, and he's the team captain, but because they got a senior on the team or whatever who's not better than Skylar, man, Skylar, like, the D-line coach is like, hey, Skylar, this guy's a senior. I like him to start his senior year. You're a team captain. Is it going to be horrible if you come off the bench? A lot of guys are too prideful to do that. Skylar's like, yeah, as long as I get more snaps than them, I don't care or whatever. So, man, all these guys were just wired at an extremely high level. They were just different. And when you put them around each other, it was kind of like, man, you put I don't know, like-minded beings around each other. Like they saw each other for the first time. Like, oh, you're just like me? Okay, man. And then they went out and destroyed people or whatever, man.
Oh, that's good.
Okay, so James, I guess the gap between P4 and G5 football is getting larger every day. And if you don't have the resources, it's just tough to compete. If a G5 GM came to you and said, "Listen, man, what's your best advice on how to survive in this current landscape where we don't have the deep pockets?" What advice would you give him?
Man, relationships are your best weapon. Man, you got to build tremendous relationships. And I mean, you got to pick what you want to do. If you want to retain, then man, you as a G5 GM, you're gonna have to go out and you're gonna have to help your head coach fundraise and raise money to retain certain guys. You're not gonna be able to do it all, get all of them to come back, but you're gonna be able to retain certain guys. Man, I was super impressed this year with whatever Toledo did. They got the Emmanuel, Warren kid to stay. They had a slot wide receiver that was super talented, Junior Vander Ross or whatever. So whatever the culture is in that building, from the head coach to the coordinator to the GM, man, they got those guys to stay. So you have to have an elite culture. You have to be, man, winning, and you have to prove, man, to guys that you're going to put them in the NFL, which they're doing at a high level over there. Or the other side of it is you got to take what my man who's the Nevada head coach, man, his thing is, hey, come here and man, I'm gonna develop you so well that Oregon's gonna offer you $1 million or whatever after you've been here 2 years. So, man, I would say, man, pick which side of the fence you want to be on, and then, man, you gotta be all in. You gotta be elite at it.
Okay, so just because you have talent doesn't mean you have a good team. And you've already talked about a little bit about the value of culture. But if you put your finger on one thing that Coach McGuire did to bring everyone together in a cohesive manner and see results, and instant success with so many players coming from different places, what was that? Was there one thing that he did? Was it a number of things he did to make it into not just a very talented team, but a very good team?
Man, he's just a people It's a number of things he did, but it all centers around him being a good human. Man, it all centers around, man, just the culture. And like a lot of people talk about culture and they're full of shit. Like they don't, like, you really don't have no culture over there. You don't even know your players' names. Like Joey McGuire knows like his kids' dogs' names and stuff like that. Like it's like different with this guy or whatever, right? Like, man, I think the biggest testament to like that statement right there is like, man, we've had 4 or 5 former players that when they found the love of their lives, man, their fiancés and future wives, they've called Joey McGuire and said, "Hey, can you go get ordained to be the minister of my wedding?" And that guy's not no fucking pastor. Like,
Really?
that's just how good of a relationship he has with his guys. Man, you don't, no disrespect to any of these other coaches across the country. You don't hear those stories about those other guys. Joey McGuire loves these guys at a propensity that is like unknown to man. And he tells them that whenever they come. He says, "Look," he said, "who loves you the most in your life?" He's like, "Oh, my mom, my dad, my grandma, my girlfriend." Whoever that is, he tells them, whoever that is, he said, they're going to be in the fight of their life because I'm going to love you more. My goal is to, man, show you or whatever during your time in my building that I love you more than that person. And man, he does it every day. He says it all the time. When he wakes up and his feet hit the ground, man, his motivation and the only thing that he thinks of is how he can make his kids better and man, how he can pour into their lives. And man, God dang it, that guy means it. He means it. So I think, man, that was the big thing, man. Those guys felt his presence, they felt his energy, they felt his love. And when he talked about it in the building about brotherhood and having each other's back, those guys bought in at an all-in basis. And I think, man, that's what you saw on the field, man, a lot this year for Texas Tech football.
Yeah, hard to argue. All right, so we've talked a lot about the portal. We've talked about how to build a team if you're at that level, the resources needed, et cetera, et cetera. Is it fair at this point, especially on the P4 level, to say that building with high school recruits is dead, or at least a lot
Uh,
deader than it was 2 or 3 years ago?
Man, it's I don't want to say it's dead because I still think high school recruits are the lifeblood of your program. It's the best way to save money, man. If you can develop your own high school recruits and not have to go in a portal, man, you can save 30 to 50%, man, because that guy doesn't want to leave after he's been there 3 years and he's about to get his degree. So man, you can save money that way. And man, so nah, I don't think man it's dead, but it's dang sure it's a co-pilot instead of just the pilot of the plane now. The portal and high school recruiting are co-pilots right now, man. And depending on, man, shoot, what type of team you got, what type of roster you got, depends on who's driving the plane that year.
Mhm, mhm. I got it.
James, you are panelist again, kind of as we wrap it up for the symposium last year. You were on the group, you were in the room again. For anybody that was not a part of it, hasn't been there, it's closed door, no recording devices, no, it's not going to get out there, which means guys like you, guys that are other GMs can come in there, be honest, talk about the rubs, talk about the things that, again, maybe you don't always say on the outside. Again, for a GM out there, for somebody with a program, an agent, somebody that could be there next Friday, what's your pitch? Again, why is Neil's Inside the League Symposium a must attend event for anybody in your line of work?
Man, just the connections of it, man. The people you're gonna meet, the free space to speak and think, man, are the big things for me. Man, I went there last year, and man, I didn't know a bunch of guys in the room. Left out with a lot of great connections. Man, guys that I ended up agent wise, man, guys that I ended up doing business with in the portal. And man, I think I beat a couple people out, man, on portal kids because man, I had that face to face interaction with that guy at Neil Symposium. And our first time, man, having a conversation wasn't over the phone. It was, we met each other face to face. Fuck these other guys. You need to come do business here. My bad. Can I cuss on here? God
Beautiful.
dang it. I've been cussing like a second.
Hey, it's going to be an explicit episode. I'll have to warn
We
the
want the
viewers, but
full
hey, we're
James
all
Blanchard
good.
experience, man.
Yeah, y'all
Glad
definitely
you're
getting
here.
the full James Blanchard experience. All right.
Well, if you want even more, James will be one of our 6 GMs that will be panelists on Friday, February 27th. Again, 8:30 a.m. Get up, get your breakfast, get your coffee, do what you need to do, and then get over there. You're going to hear insights. You're going to meet people. You're going to be part of something that you may not be able to be anywhere else if you work and live or aspire to work and live in the college football space. Looking forward to seeing you, James. Looking forward to seeing everyone on Friday. See you there.
Yep, man. Can't wait to be there, man.